I am Dana, and behind the camera, my sometimes cameraman, sometimes sous chef, and full-time dishwasher, Robbie. And the two dogs are busy with some bones. I have found a way to keep them from, hopefully, fighting during the broadcast. It's Taco Thursday. Hey, come here. Come here. I don't know about you, but when it was taco night at my house growing up, and probably for my kids too, this is what taco night looked like. We would get a kit that had some seasoning in a little bag like this that you would put into ground beef. And then you had your taco sauce that you would put on your tacos. Maybe you had paste picante sauce in your for your chips or to put on your tacos as well. Refried beans from a can. Actually, I still kind of use those. And then Mexican rice from Rice-a-roni. That was what my taco night was. This is not the taco night from your youth. So tonight, and poor Robbie's here like this, so we'll let him stand up again. Tonight I'm going to be making tomalita. That's the first thing we're going to be making, tomalito. Which is kind of like a soft corn cake kind of thing. It's one of my favorites. When I figured out how to make it, because I had it at a restaurant, I was so excited. We're also going to do some pork belly tacos, some easy chicken tacos, and then a bunch of different salsas and zucchini that we're doing in the oven with some elote sauce, elote spices and some cotija cheese. So let's start with the tomalito because it actually needs to sit and steam for about an hour. So the first thing we've got to do with that is we've got to walk over to the mixer. So I'm going to grab some sugar. Let's see how much sugar's in here. Third cup of sugar, a quarter cup of masa harina, which is corn. It's a cornmeal, but it's actually been processed a little differently than the cornmeal that you make cornbread and stuff out of. It's softer, and I can't remember what they do it, but they do something different than they do with cornmeal that gives it a little bit different flavor. So when you have corn tortillas or tamales or anything like that, it's made with the masa harina rather than with cornmeal that you make cornbread from. And then we have 5 tablespoons of butter. So we gotta get that into the mixer and start creaming that. So we'll walk over here. I mean, it's just so exciting to see things go into the mixer, isn't it? And then some sugar. All right. So we're just gonna get that going and let that start getting all mixed up together. And while that's going, now we have to go back over there. Robbie needs his steps. All right. So part of this is we're gonna take some frozen corn. And the recipe does call for frozen corn. Although I can tell you that I have used fresh corn before and it works fine. Then we actually have cornmeal as well that's gonna go in here, and that is a half a cup of cornmeal. And then a half a cup of water is gonna go in here. And we're gonna see, and hopefully I don't make a gigantic mess, but there's no guarantee. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna get this all. You can do this in a blender, but I have found that in the blender I'm shaking it a lot because there's just not a lot of moisture. So I think that the little hand blenders work better.
You didn't make a big mess.
Not a big one, just a little one. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to put this into this over here. And you might be asking, what is all of that, Dana? Since I didn't tell you. Okay. So we're gonna put this this mixture of cornmeal and corn in here. And then what we have is some baking powder. We have a little bit of salt. We have 4 teaspoons of milk. Okay. And then we get something that looks a little bit like this. Hang on, I'll show you in a minute. Let me get all of this off of this paddle. Get that stirred in, make sure we get everything off the bottom. All right. And it doesn't look super appetizing right now, but I promise you when it comes out, it is so good. All right, so we need a double boiler for this because we are steaming it. And so I'm just using a great big pot, and I love these metal bowls that I have because they're great when you need to make a little double boiler. So I'll put everything in here. I've already got the water getting hot there. And real important is you need to make sure that you put some nice tight foil around here. And this is why I think that unless you've got a real tight fitting lid with the double boiler that you may already own, it's gonna, the water will come out and it'll steam. It won't be that kind of nice pudding texture. So we're gonna put that there. And we're gonna let that go for like an hour on that. So, oh, somebody said Kelsey didn't tell me that, tell everybody, I'll have to get on her for not telling people because for some reason, apparently that's her responsibility. She was nice enough to let everybody know that I was going to be doing this, which she needed to because she's the one who told me to do it. So, so hopefully other people will be joining us. All right, you know what I think it's time for?
Yes. But what is it time for?
I think it's a margarita time. Like, let's get that started. I wanted to get this started so that it was done in time. And so Robbie is going to be making a margarita. And, well, you'll be making 2, I'm assuming. Because you're going to make one for me and one for you.
Yes, I can make 2.
Okay. And he's going to be making those from scratch rather than like some margarita mix that you buy in the store.
Can this go?
Huh? Yes, we can get rid of this. There's nothing wrong with those pre-made tacos. They're just not as good as making, yeah. So Robbie's gonna be making margaritas, and what this is fresh squeezed lime juice. He's gonna be using agave, and
That's not the agave.
this is not the agave because the biggest bottle needs to be the tequila. So, and so he's gonna make those for us. While he's doing that, I'm gonna get the chicken started in a marinade that we'll put on the stove in a little bit. So I'm using chicken thighs because chicken thighs I think has so much more flavor than chicken breast, and they're harder to overcook, so they stay juicier more. That doesn't mean that there's not a time and a place for chicken breast, but chicken thighs. What? Are you behind me? Okay. But I really just like chicken thighs. So for this, you know, I have made taco shells and I have made tortillas from scratch. I'm gonna do that sometime. We're not gonna do it tonight just because I have 2 different fillings for the tacos and 3 different sauces that we're making, and I will have had to be drinking a margarita while doing it. So, anyway, so we're gonna take this chicken. marinade things is in a little plastic bag. And for this, it's a pretty simple marinade. It's going to be this, I know this says saffron threads, but it's really chili powder. If you're like me, the bulk section of spice places or through grocery store oftentimes has different kinds of chili powders in them. This is really a standard Tex-Mex chili powder, so it's got a lot of different spices in it. This one takes garlic powder, paprika, olive oil, actual garlic along with the garlic powder, and then salt and pepper, and I think that's it. So that's what we're gonna do, so very, very basic. But this is the easy one. The pork belly is the one that takes a little bit longer, so I thought I would show you guys like a real easy taco that's relatively healthy for you, and a more complicated one that is definitely not good for you, except that it tastes really good.
How much of this would you like in there?
Just a little bit, like a quarter of an ounce, half an ounce, something like that. I don't like real sweet margaritas. And if you live in Texas, well, for Robbie and I, or maybe I shouldn't speak for you, but the margaritas, the chips, and the salsas are the first really 3 important things on the menu that you gotta get, that you gotta have right. We don't always agree on the chips because I like thinner chips. He likes little thicker chips. He doesn't like them when they break. I don't care if they break, if they're really yummy. So I'm gonna bring this over here so I can see you guys. All right. So we're gonna mince this garlic real quick. I'm excited about my margarita. You know, one of the things, tacos are just one of my favorite foods because you can do so many different kinds of flavors with them. And I found something interesting. I have a whole book on the history of tacos, which may sound strange to some people. But the crispy tacos are actually American. They started in America and not in Mexico. So, and yet, that is the Mexican food most of us grew up with. All right, chicken's going in the bag.
Voila.
Voila. All right. Okay. Get some olive oil in here. And some paprika. And I'm using you'll find that there's both smoked and sweet paprika in the store. So, you know, choose. You know, do you want your thing to have more of a smoky flavor? Do you want it to have less smoky flavor? And then pick your paprika. All right, look at that. I'm using my knife and I actually brought this over here today. All right, now I'm gonna whisk that together. Pork belly's the best. Hi there. All right, so like I said, simple marinade. Olive oil, garlic powder, paprika, chili powder, salt, pepper, which I forgot to put in there, so we'll do that now. A little salt. If you want this to be spicy, you could add some cayenne, pepper. And you know, another easy way to add spice to the foods as you're cooking them is to just make your own like olive oil that's got spices in it. I'll show you. Like right now I have this, which is just a garlic jalapeno oil. So when I'm cooking things and I don't have time to marinate them, this is already infused with a lot of the flavors in it. So depending on what my jam is at the moment, I might make an oil so that I can fix stuff real quickly. All right, so we're just gonna let this sit on there for a little bit before we get cooking it. And there we go. All right, let's taste your margarita. I think he's being a little self-deprecating back there. I think he needs a little more agave. Because that's a little too tart for me. Well, hello daughter, how are you? We're making tacos today. And if you forgot my name, it's Dana. We're making pork belly tacos, and we're making chicken tacos, and we're making tomalito, and we're making some zucchini that's gonna get roasted with elote spices in the oven, which I have on. Okay, so the next thing, what are we making next? Were we doing guacamole next?
Sure.
We're doing guacamole next? Okay. So, I also love guacamole just like I love tacos because you can put all different kinds of flavors in it. We're going to do a pretty basic one today. It's going to be avocado, it's going to be tomato, it's going to be some chopped red onions and some lime juice and some salt, so it's going to be a real simple one. There's one restaurant that I went to and they had bacon. They had bacon in their guacamole. It was so good. And then they had some jalapenos to spice it up and make it a little spicy. Ordered a new boning knife yesterday. I have a new boning knife too, and I like it because it's sharp. And Kelsey, it is a lot of tacos, and if you were here, you could eat them with me. And, you know, I hope that happens soon. All right, so guacamole. I need a bowl. First, just in case you're new to cutting avocados, you go around the avocado this way, twist it open, right? Take your knife, stab that, twist a little bit, pull it out. Now do not try to take this off the knife. Sometimes it'll come off easy, sometimes it won't, and when it doesn't, you will cut your hand. So just take it over and dump it in the trash can like that. All right? Also, if you're new to avocados, a big spoon's the easiest way to get it out. So we're gonna do that. And while I cut the tomato, I'm gonna let Robbie mash the avocado. You're
Mashing.
You're mashing? Do you want a fork?
Yes, please. That's my preferred avocado mashing tool.
Yes. He's actually very good at mashing avocado. He's actually very good at making guacamole. I've had to teach him how to do a few things in the kitchen, and he's really great. Really good. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna cut up some tomato. And then I'm gonna let him taste and add the other ingredients in there. Mash with your fist. So Kelsey so Venom Rex. I don't know why I spelled that. Says that you were taught to cut lines in the avocado and get the little chunks of it. You can do it that way too. I think it's easier with a spoon, but if you're trying to get more uniform chunks, that's probably the preferred way to do it. Okay.
I've definitely done it that way before.
Have you?
This is quicker.
I mean, it's getting mashed anyway, right? But either way works. All right, let's see here. How much tomato do you want? You're gonna want more than that?
That's probably enough.
Okay. All right. And look, I'm not gonna ruin my knife today by using my knife unless I forget to scoop stuff off of the board because I do that. All right. Let's put a little onion in there. All right. You want the lime juice? There's some lime juice for you. So he's gonna add some lime juice and some salt, and he's gonna get us some guac. And I think there are chips around here somewhere. Oh, they're over there. So that, you know, I feel really bad because he's used to having dinner around 5:30 because I'm usually cooking starting at like 4:30. But on these days, I think he's probably pretty hungry. But luckily he doesn't get too grumpy unless he's really hungry. I, on the other hand, if I'm a little hungry, am pretty grumpy. All right. So we've got guacamole. Let's see here. Pro level avocado cutting. I don't know about that, but thank you, daughter. All right, I'll give that to you when he's done. All right. I am gonna need more tomatoes for salsa. I don't know why I keep looking there. I am gonna need more tomatoes for salsa, so we'll leave that there, but what I wanna do next is get the zucchini in the oven so that it can get cooked. So normally when you're talking about elote, it's like a Mexican street corn. You can do it on corn on the cob, but we've already got the tomalito. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take zucchini and just kind of chop it up and then have some olive oil and some elote spices, let those go into the oven to roast. And when it comes out, we're gonna put a little lime juice, a little cilantro, and some cotija cheese, which is one of my favorites, is cotija cheese. All right. Here we go, zucchini. Oh wait, I was supposed to get a package from you today. It's food related. Did you see a package when you came in?
I did not, but I can go check.
Okay. Robbie is gonna go check. Is that good?
It's very good.
Is it? All right. He did a good job with the guacamole. Here we go. All right, let's get the zucchini chopped. And it's fine if there's a little tomato on it. Nope, nothing yet. Sorry, Kels. If it comes during the show, we'll open it, if that's okay with you. Okay, so I'm just gonna do these, try and make them as uniform as possible. Oop. There's some on the floor. I'm gonna bet the dogs don't eat zucchini.
They don't like the veggies for some reason.
Well, they're children. Although my children liked veggies for the most part. It's gonna be so exciting to do. I've never done the pork belly that's gonna be coming. It's actually was braised in the oven, and then we're gonna make it crispy by putting it on the stove. But it was braised more like a confit. So instead of it being braised in like beer or wine or something like that, it was braised in more fat. Which I've never done with pork belly before. So hopefully that turns out good. All right, let's see here. You know what? My Mother's Day gift, Kelsey, is always just you guys doing well. And so I'm always happy when you guys just call me and talk to me. And that you haven't said, see ya, so glad to be out of the house. I mean, you may still say that, but at least you call me. Okay, And almost done. Chopping zucchini. And, all right. All right. So now we've got the zucchini chopped. It's kind of odd doing this in real time, right? You can't just like fade out and fade in where everything's already chopped.
It's almost like it's real.
It's like it's real. It's like if something goes wrong. All right, so I'm gonna drizzle this with a little olive oil, and then I'm gonna tell you, if you wanna use all the different spices from elote, you can do some chilies and a little bit of cheese and cumin and things like that. Or one of my favorite things that I found is Trader Joe's has everything but the elote seasoning blend. So it's got all of those things in there, and so whether you're making street corn or whether you're making this or just to jazz up some vegetables or jazz up your chicken or whatever, it's got a whole bunch of different things in here. And so I just have to do that. And I'm not a brand ambassador or anything for Trader Joe's, but this is one of those blends that I think is really fabulous of theirs. All right. Am I still here? All right. Into my pocket. I couldn't have done that if I tried. Then I'm just gonna stick that in the oven. It's already seasoned. Yay. Okay. All right. I want to make sure there's enough water in here. If you are steaming stuff on a double boiler, you want to make sure you don't run out of water. I have done that before, and then you burn the bottom of the pan. Everything smells bad. It's not good. Okay, let's see, what should we do next? I got a bunch of salsas to make. And what time is it? It's 5:30. Okay. I'm gonna start making the pico de gallo. And then I've got another one that I've got three, like I think I told you guys, I have three. I have a pico de gallo, then I have a kind of pico tomatillo thing going, which was new to me, but I thought it's supposed to be really good with the pork belly taco, so I thought I'd make that along with the cilantro crema that's supposed to go with the pork belly as well. So anyway, let's see, not a brand ambassador yet. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so let's do that. All right. I'm actually going to pull the recipe over here since I haven't made this before. I don't think I'm going to need both of those tomatoes. All right. And I guess I need a bowl. Here, have some chips and salsa. Or chips and guacamole. You know what I'm saying? All right. So for our first one, let's see here. Some tomatoes finely chopped. So we'll finish chopping this one up. I'm gonna do two salsas at once. It's gonna be fun. At least for me. I don't know if it'll be fun for you. All right. If you're having trouble with your tomatoes, you can, serrated knives work well for cutting them into slices. But if you're dicing it, I find using a serrated knife is a pain in the butt. It's really good if you're trying to make big slices of tomatoes. All right. Not my best chopping job. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring another bowl over here so I can do 2 pico de gallos at the same time. See, no dog has picked up this piece of zucchini that is on the floor. I'm guessing that the bones I gave them are more exciting. Okay. And you know, if this gets really boring, Robbie, you can go show a shot of the dogs. Although Otis is right by my feet. Rocky is hiding under the table. So, all right. So thank you for, I see a few new people have come in. I'm Dana. We are making tacos. It is Taco Tuesday.
On a Thursday?
On a Thursday. Good call.
I was just making sure I knew what day it was.
Yeah. It is Taco Tuesday on a Thursday because tacos are good any day of the week. So one thing I can say that one thing that's pretty funny, I think, thinking back on it, is that when you and I started seeing each other, we would go out for Tex-Mex food like 5 or 6 nights a week. Literally, like not joking.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. We don't do that as often anymore.
We kind of like it.
Yeah, we kind of like our margaritas and chips and tacos and enchiladas. I would say enchiladas are your favorite.
Tacos are close.
Tacos are close? Okay. So, Thursday tacos. But see, if it's a clean the house day, Aladdin's girl, the thing that's cool about it is that so many tacos don't take much time at all. And even like the pork belly tacos I'm going to make today, you could braise them earlier in the day or you could braise them the day before and then just finish them out when you want them. All right. So many tomatoes. Almost done with tomatoes, and then you get to watch me chop onions. And then tomatillos, which is not to be confused with tomalito. When I kept looking up to try and find like the history of tomalito to tell you guys a story, it just kept giving me tomatillos. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. Do you mean tomatillos? No. No. If I meant tomatillos, I would say tomatillos. That's where Google gets it wrong sometimes, man. So, what's a tomalito? So tomalito, because you're late, Missy. A tomalito isn't a what? It's this corn pudding. See this right here? I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of this corn pudding stuff. So it's like masa harina and sugar and butter and milk and corn and cornmeal. And, oh, I know. Do you remember when we used to go to Blue Mesa and they had that corn stuff that was on the side with the tacos? That's what tomalito is. So if any of you've ever been to Blue Mesa and you get that kind of sweet corn stuff on the side, that's what I was searching for. Okay. You know what? I think that's going to be plenty of sauces, so we're going to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to do the onion because both of these have tomatoes and both have onions. And then the pico de gallo just will need some cilantro and jalapeno, which I clearly did not bring over. All right. Red onion. You can use white onion for your pico, but I really like the red onion. I like the flavor of it, and also I just like things to be very colorful. And white onion, by its virtue of being white, is not very colorful. hear trouble a brewing with the dogs and the bones, even though they each have their own. What is that? Why do dogs do that? Like, each of them have the exact same thing, and yet they want what the other one has. They also want to eat each other's food. Does anybody else have like 2 dogs on 2 different foods, and your dogs want to eat the other dog's food all the time, but they don't want theirs? Because I don't get it. I'm like, it probably all tastes exactly the same. I'm making Crafty Gamer hungry. Awesome. Yeah. That means I'm doing something right. If I'm making you hungry. Uh-oh. That's my troublemaker. Okay, so let me finish the tomatillo one. So I'm going to show you a tomatillo. For anybody who's not, who doesn't know what a tomatillo is, this is what it looks like once the husk comes off. But you'll find them in the grocery store usually like this. And you have to pull that husk off. It's really sticky on the inside. So you'll want to rinse these really good before you use them. So I've already done that with these, because otherwise you'd get to see my back. And we're going to chop these up and put those in there. Angry dogs, just one angry dog who has the velociraptor always steals anything that the old man has. Rocky is a stealer. He likes to steal. He has to have all the toys. Nobody else can have any fun. He doesn't share. He's a sweetie sometimes. Other times he's a pain. Okay, it's not cutting that way. Let's go this way. Have any of you ever really used tomatillos in your cooking? I don't use them often enough, and I really like the flavor because they're kind of tart. Hey, King of APOC, thanks for joining us. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Never heard of them until now. I bet you've had, if you've eaten tacos or eaten a lot of at a lot of Mexican food places, you've probably had them before in some of the green sauces. Sometimes the green sauces have avocado. That was a terrible cutting job, Dana. But it doesn't matter because it still tastes good. All right. Yeah, we'll do another one. Except I'm just going to do part of it. I just eat at Taco Bell. Well, you know, what's funny is that, you know, I was talking about, I don't know if you were here earlier, and we were talking about the tacos we used to eat as kids out of the box that had the seasoning packet and the hard shells and everything. And that's really, that's an American thing and not really something you find too often in Mexico. It's not that you're not going to find crunchy fried type tacos, but you'll find more like puffy tacos and things that have meat in them and are pinned together with like toothpicks and then fried that way with everything in them. All right, so what else do I need in here? I've got a red onion. So this, have you ever heard that like the smaller the pepper, the spicier it is? So this recipe calls for these, and it calls for one for this much salsa. So we'll do that. We're gonna crumble it up there, and I'm gonna keep the seeds in there. So we'll see how spicy that becomes, and then I'm gonna go wash my hands really good because one of the other things I'm really bad at the kitchen is cutting up peppers and then rubbing my eyes. There have been many yelps and cries and crying from me. Okay, so the other thing we're gonna add into this is some Mexican beer. And I've never heard of beer in a salsa before, so hey, can you do that for me? And so while he does that, I'm gonna put some lime juice in here. Yep. And I'm gonna put the salt. Where did I put the salt? Thank you. We don't need a lot, we just need a little. So, first time, those are gigantic chunks of tomato. So this is a, what did they call it? Well, they just called it pico de gallo, but it's a different one. Let's see. How does that taste? It smells like beer. I might need a little more salt or beer. I'm gonna taste it and see what you think. All right, so now I'm gonna finish up my other pico, which already has just the onions and the tomatoes in there. I'm just gonna put a little bit of pepper. What do you think? Does it need more spice? You know, put another, because it didn't seem very spicy when I put another one in. No, yes, you do. Just by yes, you want to put it in there. You mean yes, you should.
I'm
put some
saying
in
yes,
there?
but I might change that to a no later. If I regret
I
it.
didn't think it was all that spicy. But then
I
again,
mean, we took one bite,
it's true.
so it's not.
If it's the right
It's
bite,
not crazy spicy.
If it's the right bite, it'll be spicy, right? All right. And now we're gonna take this jalapeno, and before I put that in the pico, I don't like my pico super spicy, so I always make sure I get rid of the seeds. Because the seeds are really spicy. So, let's see here. Have I missed anything? Wait, the quesalupa isn't real. And then, what'd you say? Authentic is way better, agreed. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with, I actually was having this discussion with Robbie the other day about authenticity in food. Food is always, has always evolved over time based on what ingredients are available and the flavors that people are used to. And so there's nothing wrong, like when we eat, say, something like Chinese food here in the United States, 99% of the time we're eating American Chinese food and we're not eating Chinese food. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just a whole different flavor. Because if you've never actually gone to a Chinese restaurant and had like dim sum where they're feeding you like blowfish and snake wine, that's just not palatable for a lot of Americans, and that's okay. So I love to see all the different kinds of tacos. I love like what's called K-Mex taco. I told you I have a book completely about tacos and the history of tacos, right? There's, you know, like the Korean flavored tacos are amazing. Or if you're down in the South, you might get like catfish tacos. Those aren't Mexican, that's more Southern food, right? Because catfish is readily available, it's something they like. So there's nothing, I love just playing with tacos all the time. All right, I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of olive oil in here, a little bit of lime juice. I'm gonna let Robbie play with it and see what he thinks it needs. And it needs some cilantro too. So I'm gonna take some cilantro and chop that up real quick. See, it helps so much to have a little here. Can you remind me to do that? You can? Oh, the other thing, Robbie, is other than my part-time cameraman, my part-time sous chef, and my full-time dishwashers, he is also my my to-do list and my reminder alarms.
And 50% of the time, it works every time.
50% of the time, that's right. It works all the time. All right. Now we need to flip that. All right, let's get the other stuff on the stove because that's going to take some time as well. How's this doing? I'm just going to trust it. That heated up. We got the chicken started too. Okay, so now I'm going to get the chicken and the pork belly on here. The chicken is going to be cooking. The pork belly is already all the way cooked through, but we wanted to get a little crispy for our tacos. And then while those are cooking, I will make my cilantro lime crema while drinking a margarita. I'm very talented. Or not. It's fine. All right, let's see, while those heat up, so Taco Bell is peak evolution. I don't know that I'd go that far, but if you like Taco Bell, there was a time where I had a taco salad from Taco Bell at least once a week when I was in college and when I was first getting out in the world trying to work. And then let's see here, there is taco making going on in here. And so if you just came in, we're making pork belly tacos and some chicken tacos. All right, I gotta check the zucchini. I'm gonna turn that off. We'll just let it stay warm in there. And I'm gonna let these heat up. And it says to heat the oil. Because again, I haven't made these pork belly tacos before, but they sounded so good. So, you know, I know Robbie's probably going to tell me they're good, whether they're good or not, but cook over moderately low heat. So I don't need that to get super hot over there. But I do need to heat some oil up. So, all right, so here's my pork belly, okay? And if you're looking at this, this was the braising liquid, but it was braised in fat. So actually this pork is more like a confit than anything else at this point. And pork belly is just, it's like, if you love bacon, you love pork belly. So if you see it on a menu, this is like a treat because this is kind of part of the animal that bacon comes from. It'll come from a bigger slab of pork belly than this little 2-pound one, but I mean, you can kind of see the bacon-ish stuff going on there. So I'm gonna stick that in here and let that start getting crispy. And you can hear it. More dishes for you. Woohoo! Your job is safe. It is. Okay. Let's see here. Is this hot enough? All right, now we're gonna put our chicken in the pan and let that go. And I don't need to add oil to the pan because it's already marinating in oil and spices. Get down. Get down. He stole the tortillas this morning. Get down. You have like 6 bones. thought the beep was loud. The beep has nothing on Rocky. We don't even know how that bark comes up of such a little dog. We often ask ourselves that. Okay. All right. Okay. Didn't like you talking about them like that. Probably not. Probably not. He's actually been pretty good today. Some days he's not. But today, I'm gonna just start chopping up a bunch more cilantro for this, what was over here? Yeah, it's on the other recipe, which I don't know where it went. Aha, I found it. Sort of. All right, so I'm gonna make a cilantro crema for our tacos as well. Okay, to make it, we need sour cream. What? Oh, the ice maker. Yeah. Robbie was trying to remind me that sometimes when we close the refrigerator door, the ice maker decides we need ice and just continues to give us ice. So I think he was worried he was going to have to leap over the counter and do something with it. Okay. So this recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of sour cream, a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. I don't know why a Mexican sauce would have Greek yogurt in it, but we'll go for it. And then it has some lime juice, it has some cilantro, and some salt and pepper. That's the other thing I love about Mexican food is that there's a few things that if you mix them together, you've got Mexican food. Like if you've got chili powder or cumin or tomatoes and lime juice and salt. All right. How's the chicken doing over here? I'll turn the chicken and then make the sauce. I'm going to make it in here, and I'm not going to go get a measuring cup real quick. That's sour cream. I should have gotten 2 spoons because I didn't think of that. What did I put in there? Was it good? It's a good yogurt. Okay. Then we'll put the sour cream in. Put that in. Robbie's watching the refrigerator. But hasn't it happened like you've turned around to walk away and then it's like decides to start dropping ice?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right, more cilantro. Woohoo! I got a lot of cilantro to chop because we need it for the zucchini as well. For this, I want to mince it up really good. What did I say? You did this and salt and pepper. You got a bone. It's so loud when you chews on the bone. I keep thinking there's like tons of termites or something.
Just one half dog, half raptor.
Well, he's also a goat.
And half goat.
So he's half.
That math checks out.
That math checks out. It's a good thing you're an accountant,
Not just anyone can add up those numbers.
All right. I guess adding the Greek yogurt makes it a little bit healthier. So, let's see here. Are you a pro or anti-Guy Fieri guy? I think Guy has done a lot of really good things for the restaurant workers. I know not everybody likes him, but I enjoy watching them. So, but it's okay if you don't like them because I have lots of friends who don't. Oh my goodness, look what I just did. Get down. I could be like my grandma. My grandma would say, oh heavens. We're now learning that we have to keep everything about 4 inches off the edge of the counter if you're not right next to it, and even if you are right next to it, it's, when I was chopping up something earlier, was it the chicken? He was trying to get at that, so. All right, let's see how this is going. Bring it down. This is not healthy at all. But doesn't it smell good? It smells really, really good in here. Okay. I'm going to chop up a little more cilantro for the zucchini. And I don't need to have it quite as fine as I do for the sauce. And now I'm going to go get the vegetables out of the oven while this continues cooking. Pretty close to that. I'm trying to find the right bowl. He's also my pot holder finder. He has many jobs. This is very hot. Could you go get me a spatula or a spoon or something? I spilled more zucchini on the floor. It's cooked now. Let's see if they go for it. A little bit of lime juice. And the pièce de résistance. Cotija cheese. I don't know if you've ever used this before, but if you like Parmesan cheese on your Italian food, this is like the Mexican Parmesan cheese, except it's crumbly. And so, if you get those tacos and it's got cheese crumbled on the top, it is possible that it is cotija. And then you just put that on there and let that salt. It's got a saltiness to it, so if you're using it, like on vegetables or whatever, you want to make sure you don't oversalt your vegetables. Like put this on, taste it, because this has a salty component to it as well. All right, let's see. I'm going to stick this back in the oven while we finish up with these things over here. The oven is off, but it's still warm. Okay. now we're gonna get rid of some of this random stuff I've got everywhere. And I need to let the meat cool down for a few minutes. So if you have any questions, I can drink a margarita and eat some chips while I let this meat cool down a little bit and we start getting some tortillas ready to eat. Look at that. Can you see that? Can you see that pork belly? And when I did these in the oven, it was olive oil and shortening, and then I had some chipotle chilies and some garlic and some salt and pepper in the oil, so that you know, when I was talking about how you can flavor oils ahead of time, that's kind of what this was doing there. All right. You see if this chicken is done. What if I use a thermometer? Right. Yeah, it still has actually a little bit to go, so we'll let that go. But it smells good. Can you smell the chicken? And I didn't use any cumin today, which is surprising when I'm making Mexican food. Okay. Also dog wrangler. He's got many jobs. Yep. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff so far? I'm gonna turn this off. As we wait for things to finish cooking. For those of you who were here on Sunday and we made the cake that you guys never got to see, it actually turned out pretty good. It was really yummy.
Delicious.
Yeah. So Robbie says it was delicious. He said, I said, can you take this home? And he said, yes, in my belly.
And I did.
So I think that's a pretty good endorsement.
And she claimed she had never made it before, guys.
I had never made it before. Oh, that's because I got that in there. Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to clean up a little because I've made a mess. I know that's shocking.
You?
Me make a mess. So Combat Weasel X, you asked if I was a pro or anti-Guy Fieri guy. What about you? Are you a pro or anti-Guy Fieri guy? Meanwhile, let's take a look at this. So can they see in here? Camera guy?
I mean, they can now.
So you see how this kind of has, it doesn't have the cornbread consistency, but it still kind of looks like it. And it's just so yummy. I think everybody I've made that for has loved it. You like Guy Fieri, but you feel like his content's oversaturated on the Food Network. He does do a lot on the Food Network right now, so I totally understand your feeling on that. All right, is this cooled down enough for me to touch him? Touch it? I think so. Okay. Hey, do you want corn or flour tortillas?
Flour for me, please.
Okay. While I start chopping up meat, do you want to, the tortillas are over there far away from the edge from Rocky. I will start cutting this pork belly, which really just get my belly. It's so good. And I didn't do it with that piece of pork belly. One thing you want to be real careful of when you're cutting meat, because I just messed that up, is you want to cut against the grain. So you can see how this, you know, goes this way, the grain of the meat kind of goes this way. It makes it chewier when you cut it with the grain, because you've got these big long strands of meat, whereas if you do it against the grain, then you've got these little short strands, and then it's easier to chew. So I'm going to do it the other way on these other pieces. And you can see they almost fall apart when you do that. I cut meat wrong for a very long time because my mother would say that to me, but she never told me why. She may not have known why. And I just kept thinking I knew better when I clearly didn't. So let's see here. What do you expect? A lot of neither were not renewed. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people who would come be on Food Network, but it's hard to know what people's contracts say. And he knows a lot of people, and he laughs a lot and smiles a lot. Seems to have fun.
Alton did seem very frustrated on Worst Cooks.
He did. He said he's never going to do it again, but I think it's been fun. I think Alex did a great job on Worst Cooks, and Michael Simon's been great. So also like Chopped, burned out on the show. I'm kind of with you, like Robbie. First of all, I applaud that Robbie watches Food Network and Home and Garden TV with me, but sometimes when you're just watching so many of those shows, it just becomes, you need a break, you need to watch something different. Because I'm totally like that. So, I don't know. All I know is that I'm here on Twitch cooking, and I'm not a chef, but I can still enjoy it. Okay. I have mangled this pork belly, but I bet it still tastes really good, even though I've mangled it. So put that over there. Is that the old man over there making those chirping noises? All right, now we're gonna get some chicken out of here. And this is the other thing. I always make a lot of stuff for the insides of the tacos because it is one of my favorite like leftovers. So you got somebody texting you over there? Yeah. All right. So do this with the chicken. We are almost there. Oh, it's almost time to eat. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yep, that's the old man making those noises over there, huh? I'm not gonna chop everything up because you guys don't want to watch me chop all night long. There's the chicken.
Otis wants a taco.
Otis wants a taco. He cannot have a taco. Oh, did you not start heat this up and get them in there? Did I not say that? Get your flour one in there just so that you can, so it's warm. Also, don't always warm up or grill or put over the fire or put them in a pan your soft tacos, because your tortillas, because that is because they're so much better that way. All right,
Rocky's just saying hello to everybody.
He's just saying hello. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. They're a little dirty. All right. Let's see here. Hello, Rocky. Yes, hello, Rocky. Let's see here. Watch Alton Brown do live YouTube on Tuesdays. I love Quarantine Kitchen. We watch it all the time, although now it's changing to QQ, but we watch that every Tuesday. We're always kind of bummed like this Tuesday when it wasn't on. So I even have a Scabigail pen for those of you who know Alton Brown and know that he and Elizabeth, his wife, do a lot with rescue dogs. And Scabigail is one of their rescue dogs. And I have a Sir Francis pen, but it keeps falling off, so there we go. Yes, there are tacos. Mitch. We are just about done. So we're just kind of waiting here for the tortillas to warm up. And we are going to be making we made some pork belly tacos, which were braised in the oven and then finished on the stove. We made some easy chicken tacos. By the way, I don't know, did you see how easy those chicken tacos are? Like, put your chicken in a bag, put some olive oil, put some spices in there, let it sit for a few minutes, and then stick them on the stove and then just chop them up. It's that easy, and it's so much better than the ground beef and crunchy tacos that we had growing up. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I used to love putting cheddar cheese and sour cream and lettuce and tomatoes and doing that. So, flour or corn tortillas. Robbie prefers flour tortillas. I prefer flour tortillas, but I try to stay away from gluten because it's not good for my arthritis. So I have found that there are certain corn tortillas I like better. I actually like my homemade corn tortillas better. I will make those sometime on one of the streams. We'll do some simple taco fillings rather than this whole rigmarole here. I thought I might kind of show you guys how to do some simple stuff for a party. And then I'll make some homemade corn tortillas because they're good. Corn tortillas are really good when they're homemade. And there have been a couple of restaurants that make them to order for people who don't want the flour tortillas. And those restaurants, I like the corn tortillas much better than the other ones. All right, you don't have that very hot, do you? It's taking forever.
Low and slow is the way to go.
Low and slow. Okay. I am gonna get some stuff out. The oven. This is why I don't put stuff in the top of it very often. Okay. So here are our roasted veggies, and you can see the cotija cheese has melted a little bit in there, so yummy. I'm gonna, where can I put this? Can I put it over here? We don't want Rocky to get this. Okay. Should I put this on here so that you don't forget and actually accidentally touch it? Use that in there. Use this over here. Actually, we need the tongs for that, don't we? I'm just talking to myself. It's okay. All right. Shall I start to make you your tortilla got puffy? Let me heat this one up real quick. I'll give you some of this. And get yourself some veggies and start making your taco. Woohoo! Get yourself some chips if you want. Let's see, I flip-flopped over the years, and now corn is my favorite over flour. Where are the molitas? I'm not sure I know what that is. It sounds familiar. Here. Okay, I'm gonna heat mine up.
Is
That'll
it
taste
hot?
yours. It's hot. All right, would you like, what would you like?
One of each, please.
One of each. There's your pork belly. There's your chicken.
Excellent.
Excellent. And then, do you want some cotija cheese on either of those? Both of them?
Yes.
Cotija.
Who says no to cheese?
Some people say no to chocolate.
That's true.
Some people say no to coffee.
That's fine. That's more for us.
So, as long as you don't answer yourself, oh, well, sometimes I answer myself.
Or argue with yourself.
I do that too. This was really good once you added a little more agave in it.
Once I fixed it,
Once you fixed it. Yep. All right. Almost there. I'm gonna eat. That tomalito doesn't really have leftovers very often. Okay, I'm gonna try for the
yummy.
This was the pico for the pork belly. And then it had the cilantro crema to go on it. Which if I'd be really fancy, I'd put in a little squirt bottle. And then this one is going to be the other pico, which is over here. Did you get your veggies on your plate?
I did. They saw, they can back me up.
Are you saying you ate it already? Oh. Sorry, Otis.
Totally worth the wait.
Worth the wait. The thing is those chicken tacos, if you were just doing the chicken tacos and some pico with it, it really wouldn't take as long as it did today. I'll just stick that there. All right. And there's my version of these. And of course you could always add, I haven't put my veggies on there yet. And of course you can always add like other stuff, like whatever you like on your tacos. Like, let's see here, a quesadilla with meat. Okay, a molita. Now I know. So yeah, I'm sorry, Joyce. I do answer myself sometimes. Can you give me some veggies?
More?
Yes, because I like these. These are good. All right. And so what's also awesome about these is you got some fresh stuff on there, you've got some creamy stuff, and then you've got the salty, fatty pork belly that's also a little crispy. And then on the other one, again, fresh stuff with the chicken. So whatever you like on it, you know. I don't get eat in front of you. It was really good. Ooh. That pork belly with that tomatillo is spicy too.
You said you haven't cooked with that before?
So
It's really good.
that was good. Awesome. You guys have anything for me? It's dripping out the other end. That's the sign of a good taco. You know, as long as the food's not falling out the other end. But even if it is, get a fork and eat it. So that tomatillo pico is a little spicy with that second chili de árbol in there.
A little bit.
Not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's our kind of spicy.
Well, you like spicier food than me.
Some places don't know what spicy means.
This is true.
Just saying.
We've been to a few places. There was one place Robbie ordered something and they said, of course we weren't in Texas, by the way, and they said, oh, I don't know, that's really spicy. No
I thought
spice.
they brought me the wrong thing.
Yeah, no spice. Literally no spice. It was like, what? So maybe they didn't really believe him that he liked spicy food.
Whereas some of the noodle places we've gone to, I don't even like the top spicy level there because that's too much.
Yeah, yeah. Some of those Asian spicy noodle dishes, for sure. It's really spicy.
At those places, I gotta take it one step down.
All right. Well, does anybody have any questions about anything that we've made here tonight, or any random questions that have nothing to do with anything, but you just have a question? Robbie just gave me a look like, that's dangerous. What?
I did.
That's what it looked like.
I'm just enjoying my tacos
Okay.
and tomalito.
Tomalito.
I said it right.
You did say it right. Good for you. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight. I'm going to be back on Sunday night. I don't know what I'm cooking yet, but it'll be something. I'll be cooking something.
Something new.
Something. Oh, well, now you've pigeonholed me.
Well, I don't think you're gonna cook something from the first 3 streams. I think that's
something new to them.
Yes, I think
Okay.
that's a pretty safe bet. She only cooks 3 different dishes, guys. We got to already start repeating.
We're going to repeat them now. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys. Hope to see you on Sunday. Thanks for coming.